I talk a lot about self-awareness and various self-awareness tools here on this channel, but I haven't yet defined what that actually means. So I want to do that today. Hi, I'm Stacey Ann Forrester, astrologer and mentor, and I help women who have walked away from a more traditional path and who are finding their way again through something more unconventional. So when I want to define a word or understand a word more clearly, I first check with Google. So let's do that. According to Google, self-awareness means conscious knowledge of one's own character, feelings, motives, and desires. Let me read that again. Conscious knowledge of one's own character, feelings, motives, and desires. So the word that sticks out to me there is the word conscious, right? I think we go through life and we're busy, and sometimes we do things unconsciously, either because it's habit or we were told that's what we do. And so the process of self-awareness is becoming conscious about what is motivating us, what it is that we actually desire, and those feelings, those feelings that we may not think too much about because we're constantly feeling that same emotion. Feelings come and go, but yet we can be stuck in a loop of feeling the same thing over and over. And that's great if it's something that is really positive. But when we get stuck in those negative loops, those negative feeling loops, it gets uncomfortable. So self-awareness, the way that I work with it, is bringing consciousness to my internal world, bringing consciousness to my thoughts, feelings, and desires. And all that make up who I am, who I was, and who I am becoming. And the reason why I think self-awareness is such a crucial process to be engaged in on a regular basis is because we're always changing and we're always growing. And when we change, when we grow, whether it's our own initiative to change something in our life, or perhaps there is something external that impacted us and made us create those changes in our lives, it doesn't matter, whichever one. There is a need to check in. There is a need to reconnect, relearn, and just get clear and conscious about our changing internal processes, or else we're just acting unconsciously. And that's why I believe it's always important to re-engage ourselves. And for me, I remember this process of self-awareness is something that I consciously engaged in back in 2014 when I walked away from my career in global health and international development. And for me, that was a huge, huge identity shift. And I think a lot of you will agree that a lot of our identity is wrapped up in our work or career. And so when you move away from something that has been a big part of who you are, it's inevitable that a check-in with yourself, a process of relearning of who you are now and who you are becoming outside of that person that you were. So this process for me took 7 to 8 years. I know. I know it seems like a long time, but I think when you go through a major change like that, and for me, that was a big change for me. It takes time. It takes time to let go of that person that you were. It takes time to heal anything that needs to be healed. In the process of letting go, there's the grief that comes up, and all of that can't be rushed. And now, like looking back at those 7 years, I could see how I went through these 4 seasons of change, starting with fall, then followed by winter, and then slowly, winter was a really long time for me, so slowly entering spring and eventually summer. So yeah, that going through that change, that transformation, and also consciously engaging in asking myself questions about who I am, who I want to be, and also honoring who I was and allowing myself space and time to let that go. And I also think that it's important not to quickly hang on to a new identity, a new way of being. It does feel very vulnerable. It does feel very naked to go through a process like that, where you're kind of in that midst of no longer and not yet. You're in that middle space and you want it to be over, but you're just not there yet. And so for me, what really helped me anchor into that place was knowing that it was okay to be in that space of questioning who I am and asking questions around who I wanted to be going forward, and really focusing on my own voice and not external voices from family, friends, the media. And that does take time, and that does take a level of strength to do, because I think human beings, we're very attached to the group. We're very attached to each other, which is a wonderful and beautiful thing. And the authentic expression of each individual is also wonderful and beautiful, and a valid pursuit. So I want to hear from you. Tell me about the times that you've had to engage in this process of self-awareness. And what does that look like for you? What are tools do you typically engage? Do you work with other people? So tell me that below. I'm curious. So that's it for me today. Thank you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Sharing is caring. Take care. Bye-bye.